What are you doing, buddy? Hmm? Love the snow. Yeah. Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm gonna kind of go over my Clawson Colchester Lathe. I don't think I've done a video on it, showing it, using it, or anything yet. So it's a 1960 Clawson Colchester, 15 by 48. It predates the Triumph and the Student. It predates those a little bit. I think those started around 63, 64, and I haven't found a manual for this. I've downloaded manuals that are similar to this, but there's a lot of differences in the two, but the similarities are about the same. You know, the setup here is all different compared to a Triumph or something like that. I mean, this does have the gamut bearings, the close tolerance bearings. Handles, they're cast aluminum instead of all being round rod or bar or whatever. You know, up here on the top even, it's all, you know, these will be all rods for the handles with knobs on them. It's all cast aluminum. I think it's aluminum. No, it's cast iron, cast molded handles. But similarities are about the same. I know the threading tag and everything is a little different on the newer models. The tailstock is a lot different on the newer models. It'll have this quill lock on a handle. It'll have a handle for the bed lock. You know, this is just a nut, and then this crazy thing that doesn't work half the time. You got to beat on it with a hammer to get it to work. I hate it. I'll be honest with you, I'm going to tell you, I mean, from what you're seeing, I really don't have much money in this setup. The lathe, I knew where it was setting. I've known for years where it was, and the owner's son finally called me the day that they loaded it to take it to a scrap yard. And luckily I'm pretty good friends with the owner of the scrap yard too. We're in the same car club. So he called me. He said, just set it off the side. I'll be up for it. I paid scrap price for it. He unloaded it, set it in his barn that weekend. I showed up, we loaded it up. I paid $300 for this lathe. I know I've seen the 15 by 48s all over. A lot of dealers got them up around anywhere from the $3,800 to $5,500 range. I don't have the steady rest or follow rest. I can't find it. I've found similar, but the bolt patterns don't line up. You know, I'll get a picture of the serial number and everything back here. It's on the back of the lathe, and I'll show that. But it had a 3-jaw chuck. I think this is the original one. But you know, me searching on Craigslist and everywhere that I could find, I finally came across this 8-inch or 9-inch buck chuck. It's adjustable, reversible jaws. Yeah, it's a $700-800 chuck. I gave $50 for it. It was pretty rusted. I took it completely apart, put it in evapo-rust for 4 or 5 days, started cleaning it. It went back in the tank. You know, I had to grind the jaws, the side of the jaws, because they were so pitted so bad. So, but it come up clean. I love it. You know, and I turned around and sold the chuck that was on it. I think I sold it for like $60 on Facebook, and that guy was more than happy. He was thrilled about it. So I tore this thing completely apart. It was green. I think I got pictures. I'll put up a few pictures of it the day I brought it home. I built the splash guard for it. It's all galvanized. I need to redo it because it actually needs to be further away. Because my taper attachment, if I run this in, my taper attachment will hit back here, but it hasn't bothered me yet. You know, you really got to be like parting something off or something to get that close to it. It has a 2.5 to 5 horse motor. They call it a 2-stage or a high-low motor. It is 3-phase, 220, and so in the low range it's 2.5 horse, and then you flip the lever and it goes up to 5 horse, and you get a whole different series of RPMs. The one thing I do not like, I mean, it'll go from all the way from 30 RPMs to 1200, but there's a large handful of RPM ranges all the way from 30 to 637 RPMs, and then from there there's nothing else other than 1200. There's nothing between. I'd like to have 800 RPM, but I think you get a different RPM range, and actually I think it'll go to 1300 in like the Colchesters from the late 60s. I think it'll go to 1300 RPM. But I mean, it's great, it's tight, yeah, it's a good old lathe. Like I said, I ripped it completely apart, stripped all the paint, and it's been up and running now maybe a year. So, and this tailstock back here, this is a junkyard find. Well, let me talk about that. I'm gonna make a whole video on this because this does have a 2 1/16 through spindle, so I can put pretty big pieces in it. I do like that. And you see that? I mean, dollar signs, you see that in people's eyes when you see that. Got the BXA style Dorian tool holder. You know, I got about 5 Allures holders and 5 Dorian holders, and I've made some, and I'm making some more now. I didn't even come close to what. I'll tell you right now, you know what Allures holders cost a piece? 2 of these are about $90-some a piece for an Allures holder. I paid for less for all of this, plus a bunch of tooling, than what 2 of these cost. Couldn't pass that deal up. So, you know, I don't have a lot of money in this. You know, I got $300 in the lathe, plus my time, some paint, change the oil. Around a little over $200 for the tool post, 50 bucks in the chuck, and I sold the other one for 60. I gave $5 for this at a scrapyard, so I really don't have that much money. Yeah, my shaper, I gave $200 for it because that's what the guy said it was worth scrap at the time. It weighs around 5,000 pounds, so it would have been a little more than 200. I offered him more, but it was in pretty bad shape. This was in a fire, so I'll talk about this thing in the next video because this thing has some history. It's so yeah, I'm gonna get reset back up, and I'm gonna make some cuts with this thing. Okay guys, a Drill Pro CNMG. Off the diameter right there. Putting off a real nice chip, nice and gold. In the low speed too. This is only 2.5 horsepower right here. Taking 100 off diameter. See, no spring. Yeah, there's a little bit right there. Probably a little thousandth or so. Yeah, a little bit right there on the end, probably from the spring of it cutting in. Kind of see what I'm doing with levers and whatnot. I'm going to take it to 637 RPM. So that's that neutral. That gear ratio up there, and then I'll have to flip it up into the high range. 'Cause right there, 240 RPM. Chips. They were pretty hot. They're still hot. They're turning blue in the stack. The whole pile was gold, but now it's turning blue. Yeah, they're pretty hot. Get that off my rubber mat. Okay, took it up into the high range. Whoop. That's off, and then it has 2 speeds reverse also. About 640 RPM. So another 50. horsepower range. I might need to slow the speed down, but I don't know, it's still cutting a really good chip. There's 200 off diameter. Still cutting a real nice chip. I'm sure you can see the, not sure if you can see all the chips laying down there, but yeah, they're smoking hot. See, those things were hot, they turned blue hot enough, but this is barely warm. Of course, this is pretty cold. I mean, I'm sure it'll get there. The temperature will come up in it quite a bit, but yeah, if I want to go any more than that, I need to go to a WNMG in order to get all that cut. To cut more than 200 off a diameter. Yeah, I'll need to change the a little bit crooked. Feed rate. It wants to push. You know, I slow down the feed rate and then it gives you a big string. See? Back to a chip. One thing about these WNMGs and CNMGs, they want high speed and they want push. Otherwise you're going to get noodles. Blue chips right there when it hit that 200. Well guys, I mean, I hope you kind of like this video. I mean, a lot of people don't get to see, you know, a lot of these old machines, you know, from the 60s, you know, the gearheads. I didn't have much going on. I was gone all week, so I didn't even work on any of my tool holders or anything, so I just figured I'd put something together. I realized I haven't shown this thing, so I just put this out for you. I got some mail you know, I'll add that to this video and kind of show you what I got for the tilt. Alright, as you can, I was talking earlier about that tailstock that I've been putting together for it, you know, so everything is MT4. Everything I have is MT2 and MT3. So I didn't have any 4. So been accumulating some stuff so I can continue to use like my drill bits and stuff. And like, this is the worst piece of garbage, Chinesium crap I have ever seen. I mean, the end on this thing, I don't know if you see that or not, if I've got bad lighting over here. When it was faced off, it's not even faced off good. It's lathe turned, it's not ground. It's rough on the inside. The tang has burrs all over it. It won't even go in. That honestly doesn't even look centered to me. I haven't checked the run out on the inside, but this is this would be a Morse 4 to a Morse 2 for some of my drill bits. I got like 30 drill bits that are perfectly good, you know, for just drilling holes to go to a ream size, you know, so I can use a reamer. So I'm not too worried about a lot of run out, but it's not even hard on this one. You know, this should be, see, there's ground, polished, nice tang. Paid a little bit for this, but this should be the, yeah, this is a MT4 JT6 for one of my big chucks. I got that. And this is the MT4 JT3 for one of my big ball bearing chucks. So, but I have plans for this for another machine that's probably going to be showing up here soon. That's going to go up in a spindle this way. So, I kind of can't wait for that. This just showed up in the mail today. Here's steady rest. It's a China one, but it's a triple ball bearing, hardened. It's got an oiler in it, like most do. Really sharp point. I haven't checked the run out in it or anything, or if there is any. You know, I haven't used it yet. Don't know much about it, but overall it looks good. I did hit it with a file. It's pretty hard. I don't know how deep the hardness goes, but you know. So that would be, wow. I'm coming from China. This thing's wrapped up pretty good. I've never seen a bubble bag. Might have to hang on to that. Yeah, this should be my MT4. Yeah. Yep, the Morse 4 to the Morse 1. I probably have 40 drill bits for Morse 1 that I got when I had my little South Bend 9. It's covered in oil. It's ground, polished, nice tang. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get some couple bits and make sure they got a heck of a deal on these two at a little antique tractor show that I go to every year. They were sitting on the back of a trailer. They had like $1 each on the bits. These were on the MT2s were $1.50, and I said, how much for all of them? He says, man, he didn't even know what they were. He goes, just can you give me $25 for all of them and get them out of here? I've had them, carried them around from show to show. I said, yeah, I'll give you 20 bucks for them. He took it. So yeah, well, the tang even fits really nice in there. A little spin, but I need to clean them. But yeah, they'll go in there if you tap them. Be using the tool to knock them out for sure. And then got this off of Facebook Marketplace. FMT, sold by Fastenal. It's still made in China. This kit, new, $340 some. It is tap and die. Tool steel tap and die, 45 piece, 1/4 inch to 1 inch. And he was asking 125, and I told him I'd give him 100, just because I know Fastenal's warranty. They're kind of like those something hog drill bits, where they're guaranteed for life. You break it, you send it in, they send you a new one. Or if it goes dull, you send it in, they send you a new one. Fastenal, same way. If these quit cutting or don't cut good enough, or they break, go back and get another one. No question. You just gotta have one to get one, though. Just like on the drill hogs. They got that lifetime guarantee on them. But yeah, I picked this up for $100. I don't think I can go wrong with it. I'll probably make the attachment for my lathe, you know, to insert these into, so I can thread things. So that was the one main reason. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna go edit this video and get me a bite to eat, maybe watch some football, who knows, probably take a nap. Alright guys, take it easy.